Hello everyone, welcome back to another Age of Empires 4 commentary. I'm Beyond, and today we have a special one for you. Today we have coR playing as the Holy Roman Empire in the orange on the far side of the map. I believe is Asian Temperate is the map. And across the way we have Chippa in the blue playing as the Order of the Dragon, aka Order of the Dent. coRe's back streaming, don't know how long left, so would highly recommend checking him out. We'll leave his Twitch link in the description below. He also offers coaches sessions, so would highly recommend checking those out. I'm also streaming at the current moment, so if you do want to come check me out, I will leave my Twitch link in the description below. But if I interact with anyone in the chat, that's why. But I'm going to try to just run this like a normal kind of commentary, and then we'll kind of see how it goes. Been trying to stream a bit more these days. It's a lot of fun, actually, so we'll give it a go. Holy Roman Empire versus Order of the Dragon, so variant versus non-variant. We'll have to wait and see who comes out on top. In this one, I would say Order of the Dragon has a slight edge in some of, like, kind of the early on. Order of the Dragon Castle Age I think is a bit of a toss-up. It depends on the kind of the build order. 2 TCs versus non. The economy of the HRE player is far better, so this gets to late game. I could see this going in coRe's direction. But then again, Order of the Dragon has those very, very powerful units, so it could always be a little bit of a change in the tide. So interesting to see how this one kind of plays out. I don't think I've actually seen many games between these two exact civilizations because they are very similar. And we'll have to wait and see too. Are we going to see the same kind of landmarks like we see double Akka and chapels, or the Dragons going to go for their classic mine work, and then coRe's going to go for his classic fast Imperial Age, which, you know, that's what he's been playing, that's what he's known for, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see that here today. No one's going for any of this fishing eco. Let me check how many we got. We got 1 food source, 2 food source, 3 food source, 4 food source. But that one, I mean, it's kind of worth it. What, it's about the same as a boar, right? Yeah, it's the same as a boar pretty much. So it is worth it, but I mean, a boar you can pretty much just take down with just the investment of 150 wood, and that's it, just for your mill. Just kidding, it's not even that much. No, it's just 50. So a boar is only 50 improvement. It's a little bit farther out in the map, and then this one is definitely susceptible to lots of raids, X, Y, and Z, so I can see why many people don't go and do it all that often. Now we can see the Mine Work Palace is coming in, the Arcane Chapel is coming in over here, a nice placement over here for coR. It's going to be a beautiful farm transition later on in the game. Not prioritizing getting any of the stone or gold into that, but I don't think he's too worried about that. I think he's mainly focused on his base setup later in the game. And he does have the 2 patches of trees right here and here, which are going to be super nice. On this map, trees are not super common in your base, but as you can see when you pop out outside, there's definitely a lot more if you're able to kind of expand your base. And there's also one in the back end side for both players, so they can expand back if needed. The Mine Work Palace dropping in the backhand side of the base, which, I mean, it makes sense, just kind of like a pseudo wall off over here. It doesn't really need to be in any certain location. I think it's pretty comfortable no matter where you put it. But we'll have to wait and see here if we're going to be seeing any early aggression from either player. And guys, if you have made this far into the video, please do like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. It does help me out a ton, get my video out to more and more people. And it's just an overall, yeah, super easy, little click, little thumb down there, and you're good to go. Alright, as we sit and wait patiently, as we always do, this song and dance as we start in these kind of early commentaries, you kind of don't see anything too crazy, especially from these 2 civilizations. Now, I will say, Order Dragon has been, if you saw my last video for the Spearman Guide Rush, you can get a little bit aggressive early on. Those units are so strong, and people really underestimate how strong just 1 Spearman actually is. We do see a barracks coming out. Now this could be men-at-arms or Spearmen, but no one really expects how strong they actually are. And a very powerful upgrade for the Order of the Dragon is this golden Corsius over here. That's incredibly strong. We're actually going with stable, so we're going to be seeing early horseman, which I actually have heard is also very powerful. Again, you can do a lot of damage, and this forward gold is very susceptible to some early harass, so I do like this decision out of Chippy. I'm not really sure who they actually are. They must be someone. They're a pretty high-level player. I think they're top 50 at the current moment, so they must be someone that's been around for quite some time, but I just don't know who exactly. Now, coR is responding stable with stable, so we're going to be seeing just normal horsemen out of coR's side over here. Gilded Horsemen obviously are a little bit more beefy, a little bit tankier, but they do take a little bit longer to produce. They take more resources to produce. So if core can trade pretty well into them, they will be sitting in a pretty decent spot. That being said, though, I'm a little bit concerned about this forward gold vein for core. And then his next closest gold is over here, way up off to the side of the base. And then he's just kind of scattered about amongst the rest of the map. I do like Chippy's base setup a lot more in terms of these gold veins. Back gold vein back here, another back gold vein back here. Pretty easy to wall off as well from here to here, and doesn't need to wall off over here. So this one wall over here actually pretty much secures his entire, actually you can just put it right here, secures his entire backside of this base from this side over here, which is an incredibly nice thing to have. How is that villager so almost dead? Oh my goodness, the scout doesn't get it. Core is salty after that one for sure, and I would be too. What did the villager live with? Oh, 2 health. That's brutal for core, but did cause a little bit of annoyance on this part. And the horseman over here, where is the gilded horseman? It's over here causing damage on its own right. But this playing a ring around the rosy, this should get in just in time. There we go. So core is missing out on 2 dragon villagers by literally, I think, like what, a combined, where is the other one? By a combined 11 health, missing out on 2 villagers. So that is brutal, and it could change the tide of this game a lot, right? The power of the HRE at the current moment is definitely how good their eco is. So if you can just get that early eco lead for the investment of a few horsemen, even more so, you're gonna be feeling very, very good about that. Now an outpost is going down up front, which is pretty to be expected because this gold vein is just out, just asking to be raided constantly, especially with those gilded horsemen. Now we do have a lot of horsemen over here surrounding this forward deer pack, so I do like this, punishing the kind of expansion over here. But this one gilded horseman, with that help of that outpost in the backhand side, it's going to be plenty to deal with that. Do we have any more coming out? We do not. We have now a barracks coming out, so we might be seeing men-at-arms or spearmen. Probably spearmen is going to be selection with this many horsemen on the map. 5 and 3 more in tow, so core's kind of going a little bit all in on this kind of spot. Not like fully all in. The word all in is definitely thrown around a whole bunch, but is definitely investing a whole bunch more into this early game than I would have originally expected, especially with how little Chippy is on doing the other side, right? You can see only 1 gilded horseman and 1 spearman coming out as the response. So definitely not the same kind of investment. As you can see, 7 horsemen are out on the map with 2 more on the way and a few spearmen. So core is really starting to invest into this heavily. We'll have to wait and see if it pays off, but we're not entirely sure if it will. But of course, we're always going to stick around to find out. This is a platoon of horsemen over here. They're looking to cause some more damage over here, but only 5 are at this outpost. So very smart here by Chippy, not pushing the limits too much, and is going to fall back actually when he sees that large horseman ball coming at him. This one gilded horseman is looking for something to get done. I will say this Akan Chapel is not doing too much besides this wood line over here, but these berries will be collected, so they'll be able to be collected quite easily. But core is able, with these 9 horsemen, able to push him off this outside deer pack and going regnants behind this. So I love this. Investing a little bit more than you'd normally see out of some HRE players in the early game, but just to really secure it and make sure he can get that castle age quite safely. Now both sides definitely suffer from the same type of thing. They're very susceptible if they decide to go for a fast castle or a fast Imperial age or just 2 TC play. They're very susceptible to raids and all-in pushes. Now core is doing this to pretty much prevent any shenanigans from going down, but also providing pressure as a way to alleviate his expansion on the back end side, and he needs these 9 horsemen to secure those relics. Remember, the HRE is almost useless when they go regnants if they don't get those relics. If you don't get at least 3, it's going to be a really rough game for you. But these 3 spearmen are going to be here, and they're going to quickly take down 1. You can just see how powerful they actually are. Is there any of the upgrades coming out of the Mindwarrior Palace? There have not been at this point, but we do see plenty of eco upgrades coming in. The horsemen are getting stabbed down by these pretty powerful spearmen on their own right. Core has finally found the mark. We finally dinged the 1 villager killed. 2 go down, actually. Not bad, but now these horsemen are actually stopping the horse. Now these spearmen are doing so much value. That is insane value right there. They just clogged up that 1 farm transition. The TC was full of units, and that's a cleanup on aisle 7 from coRe's army. Brutal, to say the very least. Another Regnance is going down, so it's Regnance v. Regnance in this one. And it's going to be up to who gets these relics as fast as possible. coR already has 2 in his hands. One's already on the way back. Where's the other orange dot? It's climbing from the middle. So this is actually unreal play here from coR. While that was not the best in terms of losing all those horsemen on the backhand side, he is doing a good job of actually making sure he can get these. But these spearmen are no joke. They do not mess around. They do not play games. You cannot take this relic. This one's going to be the last kind of frontier, I think. If coR can get this one, it's going to be a pivotal moment for him. He's trying to get this one, but this Gilded Horseman's over here. If he has a few spearmen, that will be helpful. A knight is on the map as well, so this actually could turn the tide of this one over here. coR's going to see this, realize that this one's covered up. This prelate is not long for this world. He's going to pick it up and bring it as far as he can. I do like this anyways. I mean, that one's going to die anyway, so the quicker you can play the kind of pull the relic closer to you game, the better you can go from there. But coR, like I said, his eyes are set on this one over here. No prelates are out from our Order of the Dragon player. Actually, there's one right here, and they're actually going for the contested one over yonder. This knight is going to start to do battle with both of these. Going to take out the spearman first. I love that move. That was great micro there from coR. But then another spearman is here. Unfortunately, doesn't pick up the relic. coR is raging. I know coR for sure. Is he going to get the spearman? Does not, but the man-at-arms are here. But this horseman actually kites the entire time around and pokes down the relic. So this is a battle for the relics. It looks like our Order of the Dragon player has one in his clutches right over there. And coR got the far one, as I mentioned. This is still a heavy contest, but we do see Castle Age men-at-arms sitting on top of it, so they will be able to secure whatever comes their way. This Gilded Horseman is essentially useless. There we go. It's going to be the end of him. 1, 2, 3. No, just runs by. The wolf, actually. There we go. The end of him now. That's a lot of them. So here comes the prelate over here. Going to come angle back down. Took the long way around. Maybe he was trying to get that relic that's way over there. Scoop this up. And this is also important. So coR's going to get 4 relics. So as I was talking about earlier, this is going to play a huge role into this game and how this kind of plays out. If coR is able to kind of scale into Imperial Age, get the House of Swabia, Palace of Swabia, and have 4 relics, I'm going to give the edge to coR late game 100%. And it looks like that's what's going to be happening, because unless some miracle happens, these relics are going to be dropped off safe and sound. One is in the tower. Always throw one in the outpost. No doubt about it. Hey Pat, how's it going? I'm doing a cast for YouTube, but I will definitely interact as much as I can. Thanks for stopping by. And at this point, coR is looking like a pretty good spot right now. He has 4 relics hanging out in the back. Regnance versus Regnance. And honestly, this is a tough spot for Chippy at this point. Not doing enough on the relic game as well. Also, really spent a lot of money to secure this just one deer pack. I mean, there are berries behind it, so I can see the rationale, but a lot invested for, I guess, what he really needed at that point. There's no really food anywhere near him at this point. It's the closest one by a good margin, and since he did not go, I can't think right now. Since he did not go Aka and Chapel, he does not have the ability to just go for an easy farm transition like coR does on the other side. But coR is now diving with these beefy men-at-arms. A Gilded Knight has arrived, and that's going to be able to do some damage, but these things really just start to bash away at any sort of cavalry in their path. And one goes down over here, but the trades are going to be in coR's favor because these are very expensive to get out. And if they can take down this Gilded Knight, that's going to be really nice. And there it goes. Actually, oh wait, almost Chippy tried to save it there, pulling it back at the same time as trying to heal it with that prelate. But the Gilded Knight also found 4 kills. I wasn't watching. That Gold Vein took a beating, and now it's trying to find its way into another berry patch. We do have a Sacred Site secured from our friend Chippy on the left-hand side, but that will be decapped quite quickly. coR's raiding party will be taken down. It's 3-5 at this point. This night, I wish there was a kill count like in Call of Duty, because this thing would have 5 on its... Look at that, almost one-shots them. It is brutal. It's going to chase this one down. Doesn't matter if there's spears in its way. It's hunting and getting out. I love this. You see how that? You see how he has it clicked? He had an A attack move on one of the villagers, and then instantly shift clicked it away as well. So that way it sliced and got out of there. That was a really nice micro there from Chippy. And that play, those 6 villagers actually kept him in this game. The 4 relics are really gonna start to play a factor. As you can see, coRe's floating 2,200 gold at the current moment. This Gilded Knight will be able to cruise all around, have no care in the world. But coR, not to be outdone, get into the action with his own knights, even though our friend over here did really secure this as best he possibly could. They're going down fast and furious. We have a Lanchneck and 1 Spearman going in. They have both upgraded to this gold on gold, looking beautiful. Those gilded units are some of the cleanest in the game. That hat is superb. The Lanchneck hat is chef's kiss. Now we have a bunch of Spearmen going after this one prelate. It's tough day to be a prelate at this point. There's been a lot of prelates going down. I wish that was a separate counter we had for HRE specifically. If you had villagers killed over here, but you also had a prelate counter, that'd be really good. And the amount of prelates that go down trying to take those sacred sites and those relics is a lot. And they're pretty expensive, right? I mean, even though they are kind of cheap at this point, they're 100 gold a pop. I mean, coR doesn't matter. He doesn't have any care in the world about gold. He can do whatever he wants. I would love to see a market get thrown down by him quite soon so he could just utilize that gold excess. Needs a bunch more food. Needs to hit that Imperial Age soon because he wants that printer as quickly as possible. Gilded Knight is in on its way. Can get one more attack, but that is a brutal attack from those spearmen. They're exactly what coR needs. Has 10 on the map, and they're all right there, waiting around the corner for that one knight. Again, Chippy's going for these sacred sites because he knows that he has the map control at the current moment with these 3 gilded knights. They are pound for pound the best unit you could probably get in this game at the current moment. Only thing that might be better is Imperial Age French Knights, and they're still not better per se because there's Gilded Knights were supposed to be. I think Gilded Knights might be supposedly the best unit in the game in theory by how much they cost. But French Knights obviously have all those additional upgrades like healing and stuff like that, which make them slightly better anyways. Don't know why I want to rant about French Knights. You've heard me complain about them enough on this channel, so we can move on from there quite quickly. But this one Gilded Knight is going to find the back end side. This farm transition is very susceptible. Oof, they are so close to one-shotting. Let's see what they have for an upgrades. They have, I think they have +1. They don't have +1 melee yet. If they did, that might be enough to actually one-shot villagers, which is definitely a breaking point, so we'd love to see that come out of the mine work. There's coR going to Imperial Age. It's the Palace of Swabia. Of course, coR loves himself a villager printer, and going to be taking out all these trees and then moving to the backhand side quite quickly, I'm assuming, but getting the maximum amount of value out of this Arcane Chapel as he can. Look at this. This is, I mean, talk about deforestation. My goodness. Look at what we got over here. 43 villagers on 3 trees. They're going to make quick work out of those for sure. coR's looking for additional raids of this one knight, but finds a plethora of gilded spearmen in his way. Palace of Swabia is also going down for Chippy in the back end side, so pretty much mirror builds besides the Minework Palace. And we'll have to see, is it going to be variant or is it going to be original Civ that will take the game? But this is going to go for a little bit longer. I'm assuming there's going to be a few keep drops, you know, that everyone loves a good keep drop here and there to take advantage of the middle of the map. And also what you'll have to notice as well is that what's going to play a major role in this game is that Chippy will run out of gold. That's for sure. He's going to run out of gold eventually. coR will not. coR at this point, especially with Tith Farms coming in, his economy is going to be incredibly solid. He's going to be feeling very good about it. Hand cannoneers are coming in. That's exactly what you want to see out of coR with these Gilded Knights. They're going to be able to eliminate them quite quickly, no matter how powerful they actually are. Now this one, getting chased down by the Spearmen themselves. These Spearmen are far better than these ones, so they're going to be able to do a lot of damage. This mill's going to be going down, so unfortunate for it. It's going to probably have to decap this economic boost, but we'll have to wait and see. Just kidding. No, there they go. They're going to turn onto it right now, right? No, they let it live. They're benevolent gods. They let that one slide on that front. coR's going to have this one decap quite soon. It's going to be recapped for Chippy in the far side. You can see that Chippy still holds the army lead at this current moment, but that will probably start to swing eventually when coR starts to heavily invest in everything else. He's getting a lot of upgrades, really preparing himself for this Imperial Age fight. Chippy's getting a few of them, but not nearly as core. Core is still bleeding villagers to this Gilded Knight raids. That is 8 villagers to these knights, and this is something that you have to watch out for. Gonna have to wall off the rest of his base if he wants to stop dealing with this nonsense, because it's gonna keep coming. And there's Core moving out to another gold. Don't know if we need this much gold, but I guess we do. We don't have anyone on gold at the current moment, so we do need a few more at least. Gilded Knight's gonna dip on out of here with 30 gold. 30 health, and probably go back home and get a little top off from the prelate, and then head back on out, and he'll be good to go. Good is new. Little healing didn't hurt nobody. We have tons of long range berry mining going on over here. Like I said, it's going to be probably the most susceptible thing that this Order of the Dragon player will be facing is the lack of food, because that lack of Akan Chapel matching the farm transition from core over here is going to be very difficult, so we'll have to see how they deal with that. And I know I've said this a few times, but just a note, they are also down by 2 relics, which is not ideal at all. But 2 sacred sites have been captured, so the timer has begun. We have a 10-minute shot clock at the current moment for core, and hand cannoneers are out here, but there's not enough of them. You do not want to be losing this expensive unit that quickly, and these Gilded Knights absolutely mop this up, and they're going to go back, and they're now going to start to look for just about anything they can get their hands on. This is going to be probably the main target, is this gold vein over here. Core needs a lot more gold to kind of invest in all these upgrades. You can see upgrades coming in, cannon placement coming in as well. Unfortunately, it's not on this one. If it was, that would be ideal. But these Lance Tanks eat alive these front line of these spearmen, and that means that these hand cannoneers are left very, very vulnerable. We do have +2 ranged armor for these Gilded Knights, so they're going to be able to dive whatever core has in their path. We do have a cannon emplacement tower back here, though. It's going to be providing a lot of AoE damage, and you can see a lot of it going down. But again, Chippy also has the backup of these prelates. So these Lance Tanks are not going down like they normally would under this much tower fire. And now the Gilded Knights are causing a ton of damage. More and more of these hand cannoneers are going down. They're trying to get out as many spearmen as they possibly can, but these Lance Tanks are doing such a good job of keeping them alive. They're actually dipping out the back end side because they're pretty expensive. And now that they're leaving the knight, and these spearmen to actually kind of go in on the rest of the farm transition. 14 villagers go down, so that was a huge play there. But remember, core has the Palace of Swabia. But also remember, another key here is that so does the HRE, so does the Order of the Dragon player. So now these are dragon villagers being produced at 10 times speed, which is never going to go super well for you. Core does have one knight in the mixer here, in the blender, try and get a little bit of damage on the other side, but this is going to be tracked down by a new and improved version of the same knight. As you can see, 460 health compared to 230. Unreal, this knight. This knight can do so much damage if it gets in that farm transition. Nothing can really take it down, not even those cannon placements. So something to really note, you're going to have to watch out for 100%. Alright, as we kind of take a second here, just want to check the audio just to make sure. Sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't doing this entire thing without audio. You never know. Sometimes it does happen, and it's brutal. Just wanted to double check because this game is getting good. The Relic Wars are popping off, and we have a lot of those golden Lance Tanks are coming into play. The hats are on point. They're elite status. They're feeling it. They should be good to go. Now, that timer has been decapped, so core was able to drop a keep and get a little bit of damage done over here, which is always very nice. So we're going to be chilling at this front and feeling pretty good about the positioning of himself. This is still the most susceptible place in the business right now, and this elite Gilded Knight is going to cause a ton of damage. Here we go. Can it get one off? It can. That one dude just took one for the team, was like, don't worry guys, I'll block him off. It's all good. You can see core only has a 5 villager lead, even though he did a lot of damage early on. And this Palace of Swabia for Chippy has done a lot of work so far. This keep does go down though, so it's probably going to keep the kind of sacred site timers at a minimum. Not going to have to worry about that too much. Core's army sitting out here. We have a lot of man-at-arms and these only a few hand cannoneers. You'd expect more of them actually with the amount of gold that core might be having at this current moment. You can see how much production he actually has. But the reason he hasn't had a ton is because it just keeps getting raided by these Gilded Knights. There they go. The entire squad's going out. 18 villagers are running for their lives. One more will be going down. Looks like the Palace of Swabia is auto-clicked over there. coRe's going to be moving his army forward, but at this point, we have a forward-facing Order of the Dragon player that's looking pretty tough at this point. He's securing this one sacred site and has gold control, which is very nice for him. coRe's now walling off the left-hand side of the map, which is going to make him feel a lot safer, especially moving out for gold like this. I would love to see Chippy kind of move out over here, because if you can get to coRe's kind of like vulnerable spots, he will be sitting in a very good spot. Chippy is officially past coRe in terms of villagers. And remember, those are dragon villagers. They are very, very, very good. coRe switched into dabbling into a little bit of horsemen. I'm assuming for raids at this point, but also probably to take down. Yeah, I'm assuming they're mainly for raids because nothing really screams horsemen, but also the ability to get on to those bombards. Yes, the technical thing would be to get out a culverin for both sides, but at the same time, I do see that the horsemen is a little bit cheaper in value, and you can catch them out as they're moving around a little bit easier, and it's not as devastating when you lose one. In terms of gold, both players are producing a roughly amount the same, but Chippy's really focusing in on them and almost has a max population cap. Same with coRe though, within about 1 at this point, so a very even fight. And here comes the Gilded Knights. The bombard is out. They're doing a lot of damage. We are fighting on the forefront, so prelates are going down, which is not what Chippy wants to see. 2 of them have already gone down. Another one's going to be joining them very shortly. But it does look like these hand cannoneers are not doing nearly as much work. This Gilded Army is looking spooky. Has full upgrades in terms of defenses. They're able to sit there for a long time and to upgrade on that Damascus steel. So they're feeling very nice. This bombard is taking pot shots for fun. Who's ever the operator of this thing is having a grand old time. That one pellet's running for its life is going to be taken down. But there's a lot of Gilded Knights left over after that engagement. So that went very poorly for coRe, did not go super poorly for Chippa. He's probably feeling very, very good about that. And he's probably going to take down this forward tower over here. There we go. Going to take a few shots at that. Remember, HRE has that emergency repair, so whatever kind of comes up next in terms of being taken down, that will probably be used as long as it's connected to this over here, which it does look like, but it looks like that Order of the Dragon kind of just outscales the HRE, even with the Relic lead in difference. I thought this would be kind of not in the bag, but I thought it'd be a little bit closer and a little bit better off for the HRE, but I guess it's just like my units are literally twice as good as yours, and with the same upgrades, and if you just leave me alone with Palace of Swabia, I'm going to clean up what's ever in front of me. That's just what these looking like. These Gilded Knights are brutal. A keep drop, as I promised. Oh my god! That cannon emplacement just took out the entire squad down to 5 health. That would have been brutal, but we do have the Gilded Knights in onto the farm transition, which is not what you want to see if you are a coRe fan. That culverin's coming out and it's going to be dead quite quickly. Once they see that, that is a very high value target. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. All over for that one. That forward relic has been taken out, so coRe no longer gets that kind of passive gold and passive resources from those Tith Barns. This Palace of Swabia is producing, but there's 4 kind of hidden, and now this farm transition is being brutalized by these knights. I mean, at this point, I don't know how coRe's going to get back into this, because this farm transition's everything he had. You can see the food is so low, and without it being actually online, coRe can't produce any of the units. You can see only 3 hand cannoneers are in production, 2 at this point, and we have 10 Gilded Horsemen are coming on their way. I'm assuming we're going to be seeing the upgrade as well quite soon. This keep actually drops down, actually yoinks the relic and puts it into the keep. So Chippa with the 5 head moves over here, drops the keep, and then drops the stolen relic right on in. Now the bombards move over to the TC. The reason they're doing this is because emergency repairs was used on the Regnant's Cathedral. So now we're going to be able to take down this TC for free. And like I said, I'm a little bit surprised, honestly. I thought that the HRE player would have this one a little bit better off with how many relics he secured, and they both went Regnants. But it did not seem to matter, because the map control of those Gilded Knights was just something else. And now this one TC will be going down, and then Regnants will be the one that's in the kind of the crosshairs, if you will. Then all he has to do is move on to these next 2 landmarks, and he should be sitting in a very, very good spot. There we go. That goes down. The culverins are coming out. We're going to be looking to snipe out one of these bombards, which they will be able to get one, I'm assuming. I believe a culverin almost one-shots it, but not entirely. You are going to have like a sliver of health left after that. But remember, core has not been producing a lot of those armor units, so this keep is actually doing a ton of damage to all these ones that are kind of moving out. And now the next couple of towers are going down, and core's base is under fire. This next cannon emplacement outpost will be the next in line. This culverin is pretty weak too, and there is that the cannon emplacement? I think it was. The cannon emplacement actually got the best of that culverin. We have bombards over here for core as well, but now here come the Gilded Horsemen. They are upgraded to veterancy. I'm sure they'll get that Imperial Age status quite soon, but that is a lot of bombards are going to be going down quite quickly. These hand cannoneers are not what you want to see as the horsemen, so a great transition here from our HR Order of the Dragon player, and GG's is called. Well played there from both players. Guys, if you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And now, I'm going to go back to stream on Twitch, so if you do want to check me out, I'm going to be casting there as much as I possibly can, hopefully at least once a week. So come check out that in the description below. We'll leave that link there too. Have a good night.